All right. So they gave me on my phone this warning of a tornado that's going to last until 9 p.m. And as you can see, it stopped raining. This is why I went to the store. And I knew I was forgetting something. I had a taste of some graham crackers, but I changed my mind. Don't need, honestly, food off the shelf. I don't know the last time I had some food off the shelf. It makes me, well, ironically, I picked up some canned soup for my fries. And all this talk about eating healthier, it's something it's like a habit I got to adopt more than anything. And I'm going to miss this bus that's supposed to come in like 2 minutes. So, good news, guys. I had my Zoom session with a counselor at my college, and this is what's crazy. The class that I last took at my college before when the pandemic hit, I just sort of withdrew the class because I didn't feel like I was getting a real experience, and I wasn't taking school very serious at the time. It's not like I want to take it when I go. Yeah, the bus just right past me. I may just walk home, but we talked through Zoom, and then the call paused when he showed me the class that I have to take. It's like 16 classes for the liberal arts program where I could transfer over to like a university. And he was telling, and in the midst of the session, while we were looking at the class that I had to take, the call dropped, and then we talked over the phone, and he told me that I could definitely register for classes. And I'm only going to take 2 at a time. So I'm going to start off with 1, and then get in the habit of being a student and a worker. And I'm going to take 2 classes next semester. So this anthropology class that I never finished, I'm going to take that. Then I'm going to do biology, English, and then sociology. There's some other classes I have to take. It's like 16. And I may go to the same college my mother is going to graduate from the end of the year. I may go there. But one thing, that's not good news. I am going to be enrolled. So here's something else I want to talk about in this video. I may throw some comedy in here, a little Christianity. Y'all know how I roll. I'm only going to give y'all one video for today, if you like my channel. So this Nolan Wells case keeps popping up in my feed, and it's my own fault for some of the things I watch. If I would have stayed away from the news, like I'm not watching it, but I do just peek my head in from time to time. And it appeared that his funeral was today, and I guess Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy, I don't know. But somebody answer this for me. I know the answer. How can you feel sad? How can you want justice for someone that you never met before? How can you go to jail? How can you risk your freedom when somebody who got sentenced to 35 years in prison, how can you go to jail for someone that you don't know personally, you've never met, who lives a great distance from you? This is why people cry and want justice for strangers, total strangers. The case reminds them of their own personal experience they had, and it usually goes with both sides. See, I don't take sides, but this is what the sides consist of. One side will totally defend and try to rationalize what the black person did, and the other side will totally defend and rationalize what the white person did. And we need to stop looking at race when it's not a factor in a situation. Like if you were to close your eyes and somebody were to tell you the same story, I see a cat right now. I wish I could feed it. I don't have no cat food on me. Feel kind of bad. But if I told you like if you saw like a trailer, oh, he's hiding under the car now. Okay, now it's starting to rain again. Let me put my umbrella up. All right, that's a little bit better. I honestly do feel sorry for that cat, but it is raining. But I'm thinking about going in the street now. Yeah, going in the street. This street is better. So if I were to tell you that it was like a movie trailer of some, it was about a boy who went on a trip with his friends that he known his whole life, and he went with some girl that they didn't know, and they left him behind, and he wound up dead the next day. You know, that would sound like a horror movie. And then the the boy came back as a ghost, and he made his friends that abandoned him, he would make their life HE double hockey sticks. Like this movie called Bully. It was about a guy named Bobby Kent, right? Bobby Kent was like a bully to a lot of his friends, and they wound up killing him because they got tired of his stuff. But you know what they told? But here in the movie, the father of Bobby Kent asked Marty, "Hey, have you seen Bobby? He didn't come home last night." And Marty responded with, "Oh, he went with some girl that we never met before, and we split up." And but here's the thing: the killing of Bobby Kent wasn't about race. It was about a guy that everybody didn't like, and they wanted to get rid of him. I mean, when I deal with people that I don't get along with, or people that give me a hard time, I just move away from them. I don't tolerate that. I do what I can to get away from people like that as best as I can. But back to Nolan Wells. I don't really know how I feel about it, especially when I don't know him. I don't personally know him, and I've never had a bunch of friends that I hung out with on the 4th of July. But if you were to ask me, if you were to take race out of the equation, I would assume that he probably drowned accidentally. His friends thought he was in good hands, and that's the end of it. But people bring race into every situation when sometimes that's not really the factor. But this is what I want to say about Nolan Wells. Why his death isn't being investigated. I know why it's not being investigated. And what I'm about to say, you may think that it has nothing to do with the case itself. But I want to just tell you like this. I'm getting a little off topic, but this has a lot. I'm gonna try to explain to you why this is happening to him. Why the police are treating this case the way they are. So, Saquon Bailey plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what position he plays. I don't watch sports. But his home, they tried to break into his home like a couple days ago. And watch the video on ABC. It goes great. I don't know how to incorporate news clips into videos, but the police acted really fast when they found out that a football player's house was vandalized. They acted like their life depended on it. You want to know why? Because he has money, because he's famous, because he runs a football down the field, or I guess he wins games. He has some sort of purpose in the world. And it goes back to the whole thing. Sometimes it's not about race, it's about class. If you are a nobody and you die, you find yourself in a situation where you're treated unjustly. You know how Kevin Hart said, I hate how women want you to fight for you. Like, I'm not gonna fight for you. Like, when a man slaps you, when you're around me, you just got slapped. Well, when you're broke and something racist or unjust happens to you, you just experience racism. But when you have money, you have power to make sure that doesn't happen again. Like, if Will Smith went to Walmart and somebody called him the N-word, that person would probably lose their job. Well, they would lose their job regardless, because if somebody recorded them saying it, they lost their job. But if you call Will Smith the N-word, you're losing your job. Or if you mess with somebody with power or any kind of influence, yeah, you know not to do that. So the thing about Nolan Wells, this is the thing. Nolan Wells only matters when the race hustlers come on the scene, like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Then they give the case attention for the wrong reasons, of course. But if it's just Nolan Wells' family asking for answers, they're not going to get them. But if Nolan Wells' dad played basketball or his mom was like some kind of actor, you would best believe those kids that he was around before he died, they'd probably be in jail right now. But I know most people that want justice for Nolan Wells, y'all don't care about no Nolan Wells. How can you care about somebody that you don't even know? Some people who claim they care so much about Nolan Wells, y'all have family who live in the same city as you, and you don't even call them, you don't even contact them. And here's another reason why his death doesn't matter to most people. We love to say how if he was like I remember this it was like a black guy in Arizona. He was born with like a birth defect. He was missing like an arm, and he was missing the arm, and he was reported missing. He was driving his car like a Jeep. Y'all can look this up yourself, but he had like one arm, and his parents reported him missing after he dated some girl he fell in love with, and he wasn't seen after that. And then his father was like, if this was a white woman, it would get national attention. You know why white people's death matters more when they go missing? Once again, sometimes it's not always about class, but when you have a pretty good reputation amongst society, other countries, continents, states, cities, practically the entire world, when people view you in a positive light, yeah, your life will matter more versus sometimes, not always, but a lot of times, the African American reputation is negative. Very, very negative. And look at body cam videos. Look at people fighting in restaurants. Look at the portrayals of television, TV, reality TV shows, TikTok, Instagram. Most of it is negative. For people who have never even met a black person, they already have a negative perception. So, do you really think they would care if somebody was missing that was black, if all of their experiences or what they see online is negative? So, that's another thing too. I know it may not have nothing to do with the case itself, but people don't care because they feel like it shouldn't matter if what they see when they see someone that looks like me is negative. Why would they care? Now, I'm not saying that his death doesn't matter. I just don't have an opinion on it because I don't know him personally, and I can't really put myself in that situation because when I was his age, I didn't hang out with nobody, and I still don't to this day. So I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, I believe in equality for everybody. So if I was a detective in that county or sheriff, I would do what I can to find answers. But honestly, maybe, just maybe, it's a possibility that he probably went somewhere with somebody else he drowned, and maybe his friends didn't have much to do with it. But your death only matters when race is in the equation. I told y'all, nobody cared when Robert Blake killed his wife. I don't think he killed his wife. I think he hired somebody. But nobody cared about Robert Blake, but they cared so much about OJ. Nobody cared about Columbine, but Darrell Brooks, the guy in Wisconsin that ran over all those people, that race mattered then. But Columbine, people make jokes about Columbine, but when Darrell Brooks, a black man, did the same thing, everybody in Columbine and the Waukesha Parade massacre, all those people were sick. But it's like, you don't really care unless that racial component is put in the equation. Because Darrell Brooks basically did what most black men don't do. He committed a mass murder, to innocent people. It wasn't like gang related, but the fact that he was black, that's the only time it really mattered. Those people's lives matter because it's that racial component you throw in. But once again, I don't really have an opinion on Nolan Wells. I just believe that, people only care because their hatred of whites or blacks.